the Circle Line, which connects the city's railway stations. After 7 stops, we get to Tower Hill, near the Tower of London. The Tower of London, the ancient fortress built to monitor the river, is one of the city's leading tourist attractions. It's composed of a complex of buildings, towers and courtyards surrounded by tall ramparts. The White Tower, the oldest part of the complex, is set in the center and features 4 corner towers topped by domes. It holds the marvelous St. John's Chapel, a masterpiece of Norman architecture. For centuries, the tower was the royal residence, and it was later turned into a state prison. Across from the White Tower is the Jewel House, which safeguards the crown jewels, protected by the Beefeaters, who wear 16th century yellow and gold costumes. Here we can see one of the diamond-studded imperial crowns and the scepter with its 530-carat Star of Africa, the largest cut diamond in the world. Now we'll leave the Tower of London and return to Piccadilly Circus. Soho, the restaurant and entertainment district, is next to the square. It owes its unique and exotic atmosphere to the fact that it has always been the neighborhood of foreigners, most of whom were poor immigrants who moved to London. Here you can experiment with cuisine from around the world or buy what you need to prepare an exotic supper at home. The Chinese and the Italians in particular have created minor gastronomic empires. Modern-day London offers excellent food. If you love a traditional English atmosphere, you can always find an elegantly furnished, typical restaurant where you can enjoy outstanding roast beef and taste the excellent local sweets. Pubs are one of the most deeply rooted English traditions, and London alone has over 16,000 of them. Their popularity can be attributed to their informal atmosphere and the cordial welcome offered to all, regulars and newcomers alike. London's night spots can be found in a number of districts, from Soho to Chelsea, King's Road, Notting Hill and, more recently, also the East End. To get to know the many facets of groovy town or dynamic nocturnal London, you hop from district to district in a ceaseless whirlwind of exciting discoveries. From the Tower of London, we'll walk towards Leadenhall Street in the historic district of the city. We'll pass the Stock Exchange and the Bank of England, and as we continue down Cheapside, we'll come to the great St. Paul's Cathedral, the religious heart of London. The city houses the headquarters of the leading financial institutions. In the centre is the monumental building of the Bank of England and the original building used by the Stock Exchange, known as the Royal Exchange. This district is frequented daily by 500,000 office workers, officials and professionals. Several modern buildings stand out along the streets of the city because of their daring architecture, such as the new headquarters of Lloyd's of London, the oldest and most important insurance company in the world. Behind Lloyd's is an even more astonishing skyscraper that has been nicknamed the Gherkin because it's shaped like a pickle. Rising to a height of 197 meters, it's the second tallest building in the centre of London after the National Westminster Building. Once we go past the crowded intersection of Cornhill, Lombard and Cheapside Street, we can see the Mansion House, the opulent official residence of the Lord Mayor of the city. At the end of Cheapside, where the London Market was once held, is the massive structure of St. Paul's Cathedral. Built in the 17th century following the Great Fire that destroyed most of London, St. Paul's is one of the largest churches in the world, with a dome that is 112 meters high that can clearly be picked out on the city skyline. Visitors can climb the 700 steps to the top, an effort that is amply rewarded by the marvelous view. The wedding of Prince Charles and Lady Diana was celebrated at St. Paul's in 1981. The newly built Millennium Bridge is aligned with St. Paul's Cathedral. This pedestrian bridge offers convenient access to the new Tate Modern, created inside an abandoned power plant in Bankside. The new gallery, which is laid out by subject, houses the 20th century contemporary art collection of the Tate Gallery, and it's also been designed to hold the artwork that will be created in the 21st century. The works exhibited include several beautiful sculptures by Henry Moore. After we leave St. Paul's Cathedral, we go down Ludgate Hill and Fleet Street, where the offices of London's leading daily newspapers are located. Before we come to the crowded Strand, we'll turn left to the secluded district of Temple, whose quiet little streets extend as far as the Thames. Fleet Street symbolizes the press. Since many newspapers have been headquartered there, the street is nicknamed the Street of Ink. Many offices have moved to the Docklands, the former port areas along the river. But Fleet Street has not lost any of its 19th century charm and still has the traditional pubs described in so many mystery novels. Located between Fleet Street and the Thames is the Temple District, with colleges and schools for barristers, as well as the Supreme Court. With its 160 hectares, Hyde Park is the largest park in London, acting as an immense green lung in the heart of the metropolis. The park is nothing short of an institution dear to all Londoners, who take advantage of sunny days to take walks, go horseback riding, enjoy sports, or simply stretch out on the grass to read. A visit to Hyde Park is a delightful way to discover the relaxed side of everyday British life. At the Serpentine, the little artificial lake shaped like a half moon located in the middle of the park, you can rent a boat or enjoy a swim surrounded by ducks. And just when you least expect it, a band or costume military parade will burst onto the scene of your lazy afternoon. At the corner between Park Lane and Bayswater Road is the Speaker's Corner, reserved for impromptu orators who harangue passers-by about all kinds of topics, particularly politics. Two of London's loveliest residential quarters are near Hyde Park, Mayfair and Belgravia. Park Lane, which skirts Hyde Park, is a wide, tree-lined avenue that's famous for all its luxury hotels overlooking the greenery. Now we'll head to one of London's most fashionable areas, Chelsea, whose main thoroughfare is King's Road. This is the neighbourhood where people like Agatha Christie, Margaret Thatcher and millionaire Paul Getty have lived, and it's the hub of pop music and trendy designers. The shop windows are extremely tempting, and shopping sprees move at a frenetic pace. King's Road is a favourite rendezvous for young people who go there to see and be seen. Adjacent to Hyde Park is London's other major park, Kensington Gardens. Together, they form an immense green oasis. Kensington Palace, part of which is open to visitors, is set in the middle of the park. Queen Victoria was born here in the 19th century, and Princess Diana moved here towards the end of the 80s. In front of the palace, there is a small lake with splendid swans. South of Kensington Gardens, there is an impressive complex of museums, exhibit rooms and schools. The dome of Royal Albert Hall dominates the district of Kensington, and concerts and conferences are held in its immense round hall. Located next to Royal Albert Hall are the Natural History Museum, with its extraordinary collection of diamonds, the Science Museum, and the Victoria and Albert Museum, which has the world's largest collection in the field of applied arts. The British Museum, located in the elegant Bloomsbury district, houses important ancient art, particularly Greek, Egyptian and Assyrian Babylonian works. The Rosetta Stone, which is preserved here, has inscriptions in 3 languages, and this made it possible to decipher the hieroglyphics of the ancient Egyptians. The most precious sculptures are the marble ones from the Acropolis in Athens, which bear witness to the golden age of classical Greek art.